Oh my God, an insane goal! I've just seen the most insane goal I have ever seen.
Well, this place has witnessed some unbelievable finishes in European competition over the years.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Over the Line podcast series. As usual, हम लोग जो है वो irregular और बहुत अरसे बाद हाजिर हुए हैं, बड़े अरसे बाद बात होने लगी है. But I'm glad the old gang is back, so I'm happy to welcome Adil, Shahrukh, and Shahjahan to the latest episode of Over the Line podcast series.
Hello everyone.
क्या हाल चाल है? ठीक ठाक है सब?
जाग जाए सारे, शोर है. तो काफी कुछ फुटबॉल में हो रहा है, लीग्स चल रही हैं, चैंपियंस लीग का भी राउंड कंप्लीट हो गया, ग्रुप स्टेज कंप्लीट हो गई है, काफी इंटरेस्टिंग किस्म के रिजल्ट्स आए हैं. उस पर शाहजहां से स्पेसिफिकली बात करेंगे क्योंकि शाहजहां बहुत इंटरेस्टेड है उसके ऊपर. बट उससे पहले ईपीएल के अगर हम देखें, कंपटीशन चल रहा है, वहां पे बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग चल रहा है. जैसे हम देखते आ रहे हैं कि अब ये इस बार ट्रांसफर जो थी प्लेयर्स से ज्यादा कोचेस की हुई थी, उसका कुछ हमें रिजल्ट देखने को आ रहा है. ला लीगा में कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग और स्टार्क किस्म के रिजल्ट्स देखने को आ रहे हैं. सो आई थिंक लेट्स स्टार्ट विद ला लीगा. सो शाहरुख, व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन ला लीगा?
Yeah, La Liga season, I'm very happy with it so far, the way it's going. Ancelotti दोबारा आ गया वापस Madrid में, even though it was considered to be a safe choice, not a progressive choice, but a safe choice, right? Because he's been at Madrid before, he knew the club, knows the players, because ज़्यादा तब्दीली in the playing 11 नहीं हुई इतनी हमारी टीम में. So he's been he's familiar with the same set of players. They're also happy with a coach like Ancelotti, because आपको पता है Madrid में तो एक man manager की जरूरत ज़्यादा होती है, not as focused on tactics as such. So I think he's brought about a very positive change in terms of building up Vinicius, for example. Vinicius के पहले 3 साल he was underconfident, he used to fluff his lines, he just couldn't complete the final ball or finish. And right now he's the second highest scorer, not just for Madrid but for the league as well. Assists कर रहा है, goals कर रहा है, he looks so much more confident. Teams are now double marking, triple marking him. So that's been the biggest positive that I can see. And that's like last year भी हम यही बात कर रहे थे, यार बेंजीमा को support करने वाला कोई नहीं है. Yeah. Now you've got Vinicius performing, and you can see the results on top of the league, 8 points ahead, 9 points ahead. Obviously, played a game more, but and we're going through a very tough run of games as well. Sevilla को हराया, Bilbao को हराया, फिर Sociedad को हराया, Inter से जीतते हैं Champions League में. Now the next big game is coming up against Atletico. And if we avoid defeat in that game, then I think we have a good chance of winning. But still too early to call. Yeah, we're not even halfway through. And the only issue I have with Ancelotti, and this is a recurring theme from his first tenure as well, is the fact that he doesn't rotate too much. He's got a group of 12, 13 players even this time around. 10 बंदे पक्के हैं, सिर्फ राइट विंग के ऊपर या सेंसियो खेलता है या रोड्रिगो खेलता है, राइट? सो दिस माइट प्रूव टू बी अ प्रॉब्लम इफ प्लेयर्स स्टार्ट गेटिंग इंजर्ड. हाँ, एक और वजह ये भी है हमारी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस की कि हमारी इंट्रीज ज़रा कम हुई हैं कंपैरेटिवली स्पीकिंग. All these players are starting to keep fit.
I also
That's
feel
been a
that
positive point.
something that that's been really good, and I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of La Liga this year, but the games that I have seen जो major हुई हैं, I think the defensive partnership between Alaba and who's the other guy, the Brazilian
Militao.
Militao has been insane. Alaba and Militao together have been really good this year. That's
Militao has not, fingers crossed, he hasn't put a foot wrong in the last 5-6 games.
He's been really good
at least.
And he's been really consistently starting as well. The club believes in him now as well, and he's really filled in that gap.
वही ना, मतलब ये एक बहुत बड़ा इशू था, Varane and Sergio Ramos leaving, both leaving together. Center of आपकी defense की backbone रहे हैं for a decade and more in case of Ramos. So there was a huge worry, and initially this happened. In the first few games, we were conceding goals like crazy, but we're also scoring goals like crazy at that point. Absolutely. So Militao has been a revelation.
एक और भी अच्छी चीज ये आ रही है कि finally we are taking the advantage जो हमारे पास है, rather than कि हमारे अगर opponents choke कर रहे हैं तो हम भी choke ही करते थे. अगर वो हारे तो taking the advantage. So we have open up a window जहाँ पे 7-8 पॉइंट आपके सेकंड से है, और बार्सिलोना ऑलरेडी उनके अपने इश्यूज हैं, तो 15 पॉइंट का वहां को डिफरेंस पहुंचा हुआ है. So वही बात है कि अगर इस
Barca are 7th, I think. Yeah,
Barca are
8th right
7th,
now.
yeah, 16
Pretty
points
down
behind
low.
us.
Pretty down low.
अभी
Yeah.
अगर डर्बी जीत जाते हैं तो काफी 11-12 पॉइंट्स का फर्क करंट फॉर्म में अपनी और
एथलेटिको से भी आ
opponents के
जाएगा.
बेस पे इट्स क्वाइट अ हेल्दी एडवांटेज.
Yeah, yeah.
व्हाट्स अप विद बार्सिलोना शाहजहां भाई?
It's very simple. तो हम 2 साल से बातें कर रहे हैं. The chickens have come to roost. The same issues that Barcelona have had since what I think Roma की defeat क्या था 2017-18 Champions League की. I think उस season के बाद से we've been talking about the fact कि midfield के अंदर legs नहीं है. Defense जो है आपकी बहुत poor है. You have for 3 years you didn't do anything about it, and apart from I think buying De Jong. उसके अलावा आपने कुछ ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं किया. जो प्लेयर्स इस बार आप लेकर भी आए, now of course you're cash strapped, you don't have enough money. You've bought players who are already the wrong side of 30, or Garcia, who was 7th choice Man City player, and we've seen why exactly. Because like Adil, I haven't really followed La Liga this much this season, and one of the reasons was because शुरू में जो मैंने matches देखे भी थे, they were so devoid of quality. And it was so frustrating to watch, and I'm talking about Barcelona specifically over here. I was like, what the hell? I for my own, mental peace, I would rather not, go near Barcelona for a while now. And that has been the case. So, and up, Koeman chale gaya, Xavi aake, he's not. Ek to, there is no magic wand. Number 2, he's not Pep. I mean, we don't know whether or not he's the next Pep, because Pep had an amazing team. Very similar to Joe United ki Ferguson ki class of 92 ki team thi, when you have a crop of 7-8 amazing academy se aaye the. Same with Pep, that's what happened with him. Xavi might be, as good as Pep, or, on the same level of Pep, but it'll take him years to prove that, because he doesn't have the same squad. Abhi ke liye he has to work with whatever he has, and whatever he hasn't worked for the past 4 years, so the chances are it won't work this year either.
It's just to, I'm sorry for cutting you in, but like just to add to that, the whole what hasn't been working for the 4 years is, for me, like I feel like Barcelona एक mindset है जी. अच्छा कि we are the children of Cruyff, ठीक है? I mean, get over that यार. मतलब the idea कि भाई हमने बस वो ही खेलना है. मतलब फ्रैंकी डे जोंग है, उसके सपोर्ट में like it turns out to be so stale. जो आप बात करें ना शाहजहां, this is why it's so stale. They have such excite, and I mean, ठीक है, the squad isn't the aging players हैं, PK and क्या नाम है, they bought really old players as well, like Aguero, and Depay has been a nice spark, but it's like if we're going to play in a very specific way because that's our identity, and we're going to buy. But yeah, what's the harm in trying something new? Whenever Madrid switch up the play, they're still a really fast counter-attacking side, but whenever like Madrid switch up play, the manager that comes in is allowed to develop his own identity. Zidane and Ancelotti do not play the same football, so whatever it may be, like Mourinho plays a very different brand of football, and like I think Mourinho is one of my favorite managers now, obviously in decline, but no blame to him for declining. It's age and times go by, but like identity. Barca Xavi, I saw the first game especially. I think they won 3-1 or 1-0. I don't remember it score tha. And Xavi was trying so hard कि यार बस Busquets 27 साल का हो जाए किसी तरीके से. But यार, get over it यार. It's not gonna happen, and that's one of the reasons. Please.
And on that point, I don't have a problem per se with the style of play. ठीक है, if they want उस तरीके से खेले, but the point is they haven't been playing that way. I mean, Koeman वगैरह के Setien. You don't have the players who can play that way.
Yes, they don't have those instruments. Exactly.
That's to your point. Number 2, you haven't even recruited according to that style of play either. I mean, आप Braithwaite ले रहे हो, आप Aguero ले रहे हो, आप even Memphis Depay ले रहे हो, who's not a tiki-taka player. He's not that kind of a player. ठीक है, उसमें थोड़ा सा वो flair है, but वो बहुत mercurial player है. He will switch on one match and he will not switch on for the next 2 matches. So Xavi the youngsters that he has, they're very promising. But then this is going to be a very long-term, project. It's going to be a 3-year project, 4-year project, 5-year project, and then you buy, smartly recruit, accordingly. कि आप insert कर दो 1-2 important cogs as and when required, and you then play with the youngsters. But अभी के लिए, I don't obviously I won't blame Xavi. No one is blaming Xavi, but it is going to be sad state of affairs for Barca. If you're a Barca supporter, जो मैं नहीं हूँ, तो 3-4 साल तो ऐसे ही जाएंगे.
Yeah, I agree.
obviously
I
the
think they
most
have
important thing
yeah.
is the fact कि, and this is a pro and a con, कि yes, वो Messi dependency के बारे में बात करते थे, which is right obviously because Messi used to, you know, dig you out of a hole now and then, but अब वो भी नहीं है. And within what 4 months we've seen it the decline कि वो Champions League के मुश्किल से मर कर जो quarter finals या round of 16 में अभी recently आए थे, अब तो वो भी नहीं कर सकते. अब तो ये Benfica से हार रहे हैं, third आ रहे हैं. So and I'm not saying because just because Messi चले गया तो ये हो गया. This was always going to happen. Even if Messi was playing in this team, probably they wouldn't have qualified. But
I agree with this.
Quality भी निकाल दो तो वो भी बहुत वो फिर that just shows in a 16-point difference. Probably with Messi probably would have been a 10-point difference. You know, so it's not as if Messi would have saved them, but it just shows कि कितने poor squad misfits they have right now. And one more thing, because again, like I said, and again, Hamad and Shahrukh might be able to talk about this, and there's nothing to take away from Madrid. But I just feel looking at the La Liga table, looking at the Champions League matches, जो Sevilla को भी देखे मैंने, Atletico Madrid को मैंने देखे हैं, it just seems as if इस बार तो quality La Liga की और भी कम है, and that's why Madrid is doing so well. That's why there's like a 10-point gap, because even Madrid, by their standards, you know, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, they're not the same Madrid. You know, they're not as strong as they were. It's just that the entire league is not as strong as they used to be.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think you've what say, yeah, and like you said, you can see it from the Champions League results. Barca are out, right? Only scored 2 goals across the entire group stage. 2 goals, yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Sevilla are out. Villarreal ka reh gaya Atalanta se, I think, but Atalanta should probably win that game. And Atletico just scraped through on the final day. So yeah, the general standard of the quality of players at least has slightly deteriorated in Spain, and you've seen a rise in quality in other leagues. And there's a very interesting quote जो आज इसका आया हुआ था, Thomas Muller का आया हुआ था, again regarding Barcelona, which is very similar to what you were saying, Adil. They want to play in a certain style, but they can't, right? Because they're not as intense. They do not have the same physical capability. They don't have the same technical capability either. So they just can't keep up with the top teams any longer.
Yeah.
But having said that, it's good to see other teams come up. Sevilla has done well in the league at least. Sociedad were top for a while. They've sort of gone down from the top 3 rankings. But yeah, there is a general lack of quality across La Liga. Really, I think again because of COVID and financial problems, ये issue रहेगा for the next few years.
Okay, moving on to English Premier League. As expected, हमने last में बात भी की थी, Chelsea is going strong. Obviously, one of the in-form and strong teams. Liverpool भी compete कर रही है.
Adil की favorite.
इसके अलावा United ने अपना
Adil loves Chelsea as much as I love Barcelona.
So City, Chelsea और Liverpool are competing. United ने अपना कोच तो भाल चेंज कर लिया है, रोनाल्डो भी ले लिया है, but as expected they are still struggling क्योंकि उनके भी जो problems थे वो एक player से ज्यादा कहीं बड़े थे, मसले थे उनके. But आदिल, क्या सीन है लिवरपूल का, क्या हो रहा है?
I think इस साल की प्रीमियर लीग का सीजन बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा और बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग है. Shahjahan doesn't agree with me. I am having a lot of fun watching this.
I think it's great. After a very long time, it's a 3-horse race. Normally, it's been a 2-horse race for the last few years, but this time we've got 3 very, very good teams.
Even in that race, now you will notice कि मतलब कितनी different situations हैं. मतलब Chelsea are a side, ठीक है, that have spent 100 million on Lukaku and then 100 million on Lukaku and then 143 on Werner and Havertz, and they play 5 at the back. मतलब वो एक team अजीब सी setup है, ठीक है. Man City do not have a striker and the only one they do have plays as a right winger in Jesus, ठीक है. Liverpool are बस insane blazing form, ठीक है. Joel Matip क्यों बरेसी जैसा खेल रहा है मुझे नहीं पता, ठीक है, मुझे नहीं पता. अजीब situation. West Ham have been the freshest team in the league this season. Players like Bowen, Antonio, Benrahma. ओए इतना मजा आ रहा है शायद तुम कैसे कह सकते हो ये साल अच्छा नहीं है मैं मान नहीं सकता
I would rather give one horse race ho and Liverpool are top by 20 points. This is not good for me. Weekend is not good for you either. हर मैच से पहले आपको दुरूद शरीफ पढ़नी पड़ती है, आयतुल कुर्सी पढ़नी पड़ती है, सोने से पहले आपको प्रे करना होता है कि यार लास्ट ईयर की तरह जैसे मैड्रिड की इंजरीज थी इस बार लिवरपूल की इंजरीज ना हो जाए बिकॉज वी जस्ट 2 इंजरीज अवे फ्रॉम ड्रॉपिंग डाउन लाइक अ स्टोन. तो
शाहजहां चाहता है कि हर सीजन 2020 वाला सीजन हो.
यार लेकिन देखो लाइक अभी जो डिवॉक ओरिगी ने मतलब 94th मिनट मारा है गोल. आई स्वेयर टू गॉड ठीक है मैं लैपटॉप पे देख रहा था ठीक है एंड माय वाइफ वाज स्लीपिंग नेक्स्ट टू मी क्योंकि लेट नाइट में इतनी जोर से चीख मारी. यार दैट मेक्स इट एक्साइटिंग यार. That's the best part of football.
Yeah, these are the kind of memories that you enjoy once you have won the league, and then आप pictures सोचते हो and कहते हो, yeah, that was fun. अभी के लिए नहीं, अभी के लिए it's like a roller coaster. It's like ऊपर नीचे. I was like, yeah, Chelsea drop points. Now Liverpool is going to drop points. Might as well just give the trophy to City. But चलो वो मैं थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा मेरे extremes होती हैं reactions. But yeah, to your point, yes, it is a very interesting, very competitive league. हर match जो है more or less as we saw against Wolves, it's not easy. Unless आप एवर्टन को खेल रहे हो हर वीक तो आपके मैचेस इंटरेस्टिंग मुश्किल नहीं होंगे. या अब तो उस्मान जो अभी आज नहीं हमारे साथ उसकी टीम भी ज्यादा डिफेंसिवली ज्यादा सॉलिड लगना शुरू हो गई है अंडर कॉन्टे. एंड अगेन दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी स्पोक अबाउट लास्ट ईयर एज वेल. Yes, money plays a part. Money plays a huge part, and perhaps because that there's a lot of money in Premier League, you end up attracting not just the players but the managers. And because you have the best managers that the football world has to offer in Premier League, then you see very interesting teams, strategies, tactics, style of play. आप Pep, Tuchel और Klopp आपके top 3 हैं. अब आपका Rangnick आ गया है. ठीक है आपके पास Conte है, आपके पास David Moyes है. So we're talking about the real top managers over here. So yes, it is a very interesting league, and abhi ke liye City is our favorites. Probably Adil would agree as well. Just because of the sports strength की बात करें, Liverpool के अंदर भी I think a lot of people keep talking about AFCON because it is a serious concern for Liverpool कि हमारे 3 players चले जाएंगे, 2 top players चले जाएंगे, who are also top of the scoring charts.
दुनिया का best player चला जाएगा. Let's be very honest. The best player.
दुनिया का best player on form चले जाएगा. तो वो थोड़ा सा gap है. Origi is fine off the bench, but 2 matches, 3 matches Premier League and overall about I think 5-6 matches that they're potentially going to miss. That is going to be tough for us. And like I said, एक injury हो जाए साथ, 2 आपके best players ना हो, then we're probably not going to be competing after Feb. तो मुझे ये बहुत concern है because last year in December we were I think top 2 के अंदर थे. Chelsea were top and we were second. Yeah, we were top and Chelsea were second. It was kind of like a seesaw going into Christmas, and then all of a sudden for 3 months we went on an amazing streak जिसके अंदर we lost 7 home matches or 6 home matches
in a row almost. Yeah,
almost. तो वो concern मेरा है, and that's why one of the reasons why I'm not enjoying this season as of yet. But hopefully, when the season is over, I'll look back and say, "Okay, बहुत amazing season and the best league in the world."
I feel like I think there are a couple of reasons why I feel this league is going to be very interesting. ठीक है, मतलब जरा holistically अगर मैं बोलूँ, मतलब जरा Liverpool bias हटा के, I think Man City without a striker being top and scoring so many goals is very interesting. And I feel कि Pep Guardiola is the kind of guy that will be like, "Yeah, I am so good." And so I'm going to like I don't know why I have a very strong feeling he's going to splash some cash in January. Maybe like that guy from Fiorentina, Vlahovic. I don't know some number 9 coming in at City. That kills it for me because then their defense is really good. You can't penetrate through the Cancelo who has been insane this year. Let's be very honest. Diaz, Laporte, solid as anything, right? And Edison, one of the best keepers in the world. So, with that defense, midfield obviously unka incredible already. Foden, Rodri, Gundogan, and 9 right now in this team I know they don't need it, but Grealish, let's be, I love Grealish, hasn't really hit, strides as of yet. I feel they will be unstoppable. But as of now, Shahjahan, that's what makes it interesting. They haven't done that already. We are talking about us being really good, but we forget that the other teams are also really, really good.
And that's the concern, because I think this is Liverpool top form.
Yeah,
this is us.
Yes, this is our best form, and City are still killing it. Yeah,
and so City you just think there is another gear that they get.
Exactly, that's what City makes you feel. Yeah,
and I was having this conversation with myself because I'm a little crazy aajkal. So I was just wondering, कि last year हमारे चार पांच injuries, the center backs started, खत्म हो गए थे, and we had to play Henderson and Fabinho and Williams and Matt Phillips. Phillips. So I was just wondering, वैसे अपने से, what? Imagine अगर सिटी के अंदर, ये विजुअल थिंकिंग थी / वूडू मैं करने की कोशिश कर रहा था सिटी के ऊपर, इनके 4 फन प्लेयर्स चले जाएं, या इनके चारों मिडफील्ड चले जाएं, या इनके 4 प्लेयर्स डिफेंस में चले जाएं, and the squad is such and the way they play is such, I still think that they'll be able to come up with a really great playing 11. अगर आपके forwards है नहीं, so they'll probably figure out a way कि वो midfield को forwards में और plug in करते हैं. अगर midfield चली जाएगी, they'll probably say Grealish तू पीछे आ जा. You know what I mean? So they can still.
Pep has played him as an already.
And Aston Villa के लिए भी खेलता रहा है. The point being is कि City का ऐसा squad है, and I know we keep harping on about what an amazing squad they have even without a striker, but it is just frightening. मुझे तो अब लगता है it's not just 2 teams, they can probably just field 3 different teams, because उनके तो academy players भी बहुत अच्छे हैं जो अभी नए आ रहे हैं. Roberts.
But credit goes to Pep Guardiola. I will never agree with anyone that doesn't say Pep magic nahi hai. He's insane. I know.
This is the credit. It's all about the moolah.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brought in Cristiano Ronaldo and Rafa Varane.
ये तो ज़्यादती है.
ओले को नहीं कंपेयर कर सकते आप. ओले is in a league of his own.
मैं सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूँ, Pep Guardiola knows what to do with a footballer, and he makes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, there's no doubt about that.
Right, and like अब देखो ना, मतलब it's taken 1 game, ठीक है, under Rangnick, ठीक है, जो United की अगर बात की जाए, Fred has scored a goal with his right foot, ठीक है, and if you look back on Fred ना, वो कभी भी defensive midfielder नहीं था. मैं जब वो वहां से आ रहा था शाख्तार से, I was jealous. I'll be very honest with you. This was my view on Fred. 55 million ka. We heard that he could dribble past anyone, play intricate passes. What is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doing? Playing as a second defensive midfielder next to Scotty McTominay. ठीक है जी. मतलब यार आप खुदा का खौफ करो. तो उस लिहाज से मैं शाहजहां ये कहता हूँ, सिटी के प्लेयर्स जो मर्जियों अच्छे हैं, ऑफ कोर्स यार, मतलब but again, अगर आपको लिवरपूल के प्लेयर्स अच्छे नहीं है, तो हमारे प्लेयर्स भी काफी महंगे और बहुत प्रीमियम प्लेयर्स हैं, right? Same goes for United, Chelsea. It's the way they're played, and that's what makes Pep Guardiola really, really good. You can call it what you want. He has, for me, in my personal opinion, made Zinchenko, Rodri and the likes of Foden into very special players. ठीक है, Gundogan हमेशा से था, but look at Gundogan at Dortmund being a holding midfielder, but look at him play as an 8, even a 10 तो नहीं, but like 8 or 10 के बीच कुछ खेलता रहता है वो. It's all Pep for me personally. Talented Gundogan, I love Gundogan.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from Pep.
Yeah, no doubt. He's been really good.
I mean, like you just mentioned, Grealish 100 million का लिया है, they're top of the league. And there's a chance, and it's a huge likelihood that they will go in Jan and they'll just buy another player,
So I'll tell you something about this. I will never hold Grealish against Man City, because if you do that, then you have to hold Maguire against Man United. Any English. No, but let me tell you why you cannot. Any English premium player is going to probably cost you 3.5 times more than what its value is. Let's look at Liverpool. The fact that we might invest in a player like Jude Bellingham, as talented as he is, or anyone that invests in Bellingham, they have to pay 100 million. Is Ben Chilwell worth 65? Is Maguire worth 80? Is Grealish worth 100? The English premium in Premier League is always going to make it look like they've done something insane. But Grealish as a 25-year-old premium English footballer, क्योंकि आपको कोटा पूरा करना है ना, I think it's good. I think it's
Jadon Sancho को देख लें आप.
Sancho for 79. You have to pay that premium.
Declan Rice के बारे में 70-80 की बातें हो रही हैं. So
100.
Yeah. Ben White. Yeah. Liverpool will pay premium for an English midfielder, if not next season, one season up. We will. You have to fill that quota. Milner will die. He will die on the pitch.
हम
वो मर जाएगा.
Aston Villa से लेंगे and we'll pay probably मेरे ख्याल से we'll play under 50 for any player we buy. It'll be 40 million, 30 million वो and वो premium है. Like you're talking about वो actually इसकी value probably 10 million का player होगा जो हम 30 million ले रहे हो. ये पहले 70 million का player, 60 million का player है जो ये 100 का ले सकते हैं. Then again, it's not just about the money, but it makes a huge difference. Look at Chelsea. They Lukaku ले लिया, of course, वो touch, it hasn't worked out for them.
Cheeseburgers, but it's okay.
मेरे ख्याल में they should just swap, direct swap for Kane. Lukaku भी खुश हो जाएगा.
हैरी केन तो भागता ही नहीं अब, वो तो चलता है सिर्फ पिच पे, वो अखबार पढ़ रहा होता है, उसे तो फिक्र ही नहीं है, वो अलग on and हैरी केन
switched off.
I think he doesn't care anymore. And again, लोग बड़ा कह रहे हैं कि हैरी केन form off है यार. वो आप पिछले 6 साल देख लो, वो प्लेयर ठीक है बेचारा, ठीक है, उसे फुटबॉल खेलनी आती है, वो बस अक गया टॉटनहम हॉटस्पर से उनके मसलों से. वो कहता है यार खुद संभालो, मैं कुछ नहीं करूँगा, ठीक है.
Before we wrap up EPL का, Adil, I would just like you to talk a bit about Chelsea.
Chelsea के बारे में यार, I think जो Thomas Tuchel है, ठीक है, I think he is a smart guy, ठीक है, that has really gotten the best out of his players. He makes Chelsea get into a shape that does really well, but I have a very stats, ठीक है, अगर आप stats देखो, I feel they will they're not playing the way a Premier League winning side can as of, and that's why I am confused as well, because of how strong their attack can be, and yet I see Ben Chilwell or Reece James on the score sheet, which is not a problem. Your fullbacks scoring is a great tactic. Marcelo, Dani Alves, proof of that, okay? But there needs to be some sort of alignment as to how you're going to score more goals. Abhi kal they have उनका defensive बात होती है, 3 goals Zenit ने मारे उन्हें, ठीक है? मतलब, so I feel, and like Mendy again, वही जो एक बात है, Mendy is a really good keeper for them over the last 2 years, but again the lack of professional experience. So Mendy, we guys know the story behind Mendy, him not being professional for 24 and then becoming something like that, right? So they have these little gaps and this lack of, जिसे कहते हैं ना, what Liverpool have, Chelsea don't. That's the only thing that I can say, because Liverpool, when they play a match ना, आपको पता है, अच्छा जी ये नहीं, अच्छा आपको immediately पता चलता है, अच्छा ये लिवरपूल हारने नहीं वाले, ठीक है जी, ये डिफेंस को going past. Alisson Becker is one of my favorite footballers alive, आराम से. He is one of the best goalkeepers off the line. इतनी insane positioning है, आप खुश होते हो देख के, ठीक है. Same goes for Man City का midfield. You know Rodri कितना अच्छा footballer है. I'm almost jealous. We have Fabinho, but वही तो Chelsea, I don't see that. Jorginho costing them games, Ballon d'Or nominee, like yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Yeah.
But Adil, मुझे पता नहीं, I don't know, from looking from the outside, it just seems that this is something that is very common with Chelsea, that one season they perform, other season throughout they switch off. And मैं सोचा था कि even the players are different. It's not the same squad जो Mourinho के under था, जब when they won the league and the next year just decided, whatever, we don't want to, perform good for you. Same with, they've done this with so many managers.
Conte के साथ, yes. Ancelotti के साथ.
And the squad is different, but it just seems as if, I don't know, क्या है उस club के अंदर, maybe, with the management, with the way the club is being run, they just have these kind of blips. And this season, even though they're top, they're third right now, and they've done really well at the start of the season, but वो अब नजर आ रहा है, वो blip नजर आ रहा है, performances में नजर आ रहा है. It's not just the fact that, I mean, Lukaku is the only player who was injured. So it's not a huge, big, and Kante. Kante, I give them that.
I was actually surprised with the lineup that he put out yesterday in the Champions League.
Saul was at left back.
Saul was playing a defender. I don't even Sar.
Reece James. Malang Sar.
There's a top. The top position was up for grabs, and you don't take such games lightly. You look at Madrid, for instance. We were 2 points ahead of Inter. A draw would have been good enough for us to top the group, but Ancelotti put in his best 11 there. When I saw Chelsea's lineup yesterday, I was like, "यार ये जरा हल्का ले रहे हैं Zenit को, right?" And then Zenit ended up,
Did
grabbing
Chelsea
that
finish
all-important
second?
point.
Did Chelsea
Yeah,
finish
they
second in the
finished
group?
second.
They have the
second.
most difficult opponents to face now. Like
वही
इनका जो line.
fair. I think we'll come to that in a bit, but that was a very, very strange choice of lineup from Tuchel. मतलब जॉर्जिनियो को तो लेकर नहीं गए ना. जॉर्जिनियो was back in London, आराम से अपने पैर सेक रहा था fireplace के सामने, and Thiago Silva and Rudiger were on the bench as well. So very, very strange. Either he was very overconfident. I don't know. That just didn't care about coming first. It was a very
which is so important. Finishing top, because I saw Liverpool's potential opponents, bar PSG. I was like, this doesn't really look that hard. Teams like, I think, Sporting Lisbon and a couple of others. I feel like no disrespect to them.
PSG is the only major second place team that you can face. हमारे लिए PSG भी है, Chelsea भी है. So some interesting matchups potentially.
Definitely.
Sounds good. So this was fun as always. हमने ला लीगा की बात की, EPL की बात की, चैंपियंस लीग को थोड़ा सा टच किया, but we will be talking more about it in the next episode, क्योंकि अभी obviously शाहजहां को ऐसे तो नहीं छोड़ना हमने. बार्सिलोना के साथ हम डिटेल में बात करेंगे. We need another episode for that. But once again, thank you for joining. और आप लोग चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें. And if you want us to talk about some particular player or topic or a team, to do let us know in the comment section. Until next time, Khuda Hafiz.
Well, this place is winning.